Now, like versus love. Now, you touched on this a little bit, but let's go into it a little bit more.
Okay. Now, the very first item that you like, let's take the rug, for instance, because most rooms start with an area rug if you have wood floors. You need to go shopping for a rug that really flips your boat. You want that you love the colors, you love the feel, it's saying what you want that room to say. That is what you love. And then you put things that you like that flatter that. So whatever that first main piece is, be it the carpet or the sofa material or the bedspread, love it,
Mm-hmm.
and then or artwork, and put what makes it look the best. Not what else do I love, but what will complement. Just like you do when you dress. When a woman goes out and you get a print skirt, you're going to get a blouse that complements that skirt. The same thing's true with your home.
Too small. Item number 4. Mistake number 4. Too small. Now let's go into that.
Most people, a few bigger pieces make a larger statement and makes your home look sophisticated and makes just like I said, a bigger statement. What happens is if people collect a lot of little tiny things, it tends to look like clutter. And I'm not saying you can't have a lot of little tiny things, but if you do, arrange them in a collection so you see a collection as a whole. Don't scatter them throughout the house where there's a lot of bric-a-brac. You want to make a statement. And what makes a room look cluttered or a house look even smaller, if you have a small home and you put small furniture in it, it tends to look like a dollhouse.
Mm-hmm.
You want to put a few nice things and your house will actually seem larger.
Now, you talk about when you finally accomplish something. We've covered some of the mistakes that people make. When you finally have got a beautiful place and you say, oh, this is just what you want, you say, stop shopping. That is so important. Explain why you don't need to continue to shop.
Well, I think that has to go back to personality. Some people, and that's probably why I'm in the business. I do love to shop. But I have to stop, shopping for myself, so I have to have an outlet to shop for other people. But there are people that, that's their form of entertainment. That's their life. They love to go to furniture stores, and they love to shop, and they love to look for accessories. But there reaches a point that you need to stop. So you need to change your direction, either go shop for clothes or go shop for friends or just have another outlet. You can go overboard with it.
Mm-hmm. So. You can end up with having something looking very disjointed because of the choices that you've made, just because
Correct.
There is that passion. And sometimes people have a real desire to have stuff. I mean, just wow. And then you walk in and you say, gee, this is like a museum. This is nice, but how do you live with it?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody has their own style. Of course, it all gives us something to talk about, doesn't it? You talk about a couple of other things, bargain hunting and family pictures. And I know garage sales are a real popular item to attend. But you have a very special attitude regarding bargain hunting.
It's not a bargain unless you were going to buy it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it's a beautiful item and it's on sale, by all means buy it. But don't, and it's very tempting. I mean, I've even been persuaded myself sometimes. I have to step back and say, do I like it because it's a bargain, or do I truly like it?
Mm-hmm.
And if you truly like it, get it. If you're liking it because if it's a price, let it go by.
Absolutely. Now, you have an attitude about family pictures.
Yes.
Okay.
Family pictures are fine, but I just don't think they should be in public areas such as your living room, unless it's got artistic value to it. Like pictures of children, if it's an oil painting or something, and it would be that picture would be beautiful, even if it wasn't your child. If then that is appropriate. But I walk into houses sometimes, and that's not important to your guests. I mean, your kids are 20 years old, and you have pictures when they were 3. Mm-hmm. If you're going to do that, put them in a more private space, such as your bedroom or hallway or a guest bedroom, or put it in a photo album. I tend to think a lot of times if you see a picture on a day-to-day basis, it kind of loses its speciality. It's nice to go back and look in a book and remember when your child was 3 when they're 20, rather than have them on the wall for 17 years, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
mm-hmm.
then you kind of overlook it, you know.
Well, and I think that's one area where having scrapbooks and things like that are just marvelous, because so many people, that is very special to them. But like you say, when your kids are grown up, there's a time maybe that you'll want to have some of that out, but there's another time where it's time to move on, and that's what a lot of people, I think, might be interested in, is how do I get this refreshed look?
Plus, I think you got to think about your guests in your home. Is that important to? I know that's important to you, but is that important to your guests? Do they want to see family pictures all over the place? I mean, it's just more entertaining for them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You know. Now you have working and having 3 steps to success. I know we've got just a couple of minutes. You make 3 points. Make a floor plan. Buy in the correct order. And base every decision on previous choices. Making a floor plan, that's actually maybe sitting down with a piece of paper and drawing things out. Where would you put the furniture? How do you want the furniture handled? What do you want to do with it?
When you buy the book that tells you how there's certain rules about traffic pattern and how to arrange things. And then the most important thing I have in the book, and no other designer in the world has ever thought of this, you can buy a sofa, a pair of chairs, and 1 odd chair, and there's 144 different ways you can arrange it. Now, I'm not saying you can arrange that in every room, but out of the 144 different arrangements, there's going to be several that's going to work in your room, no matter where you live.
Mm-hmm. And I've got them right in front of me, so there's just a lot of choices. You have a chapter on trendy or timeless, the information on buying in the correct order. That, you know, all of these things are things that would be considered logical, but many times people get very impatient. And if someone is really wanting to upgrade their home and the kitchen and the bathroom, and they have an interior designer, what are some of the tips that you would give them when they're going to be going through this, when their house is going to be in total disorder? Everybody seems to have one kind of a nightmare or another that they will share when they go through this type of thing. What do you think is the biggest challenge that people have? Is it impatience when it comes to doing a project? Are there expectations too high?
The most thing is they stab at it themselves. They'll make an attempt themselves to do it, and then they realize, I can't do this, now I've got to call a professional. Mm-hmm. It would be so much nicer to say, all right, I need to update my house, I want to change. Get on the phone, call someone. Don't try to do it yourself. I have a client that comes to mind that had a ranch-style house that remodeled their kitchen, and the kitchen was large. But the way they remodeled it, they didn't even have room to put a table and chairs to eat at in their kitchen, and you had to go eat in the dining room. And the kitchen, if it was laid out correctly, was big enough for that. But they just put it kind of the way it was rather than completely refigure the kitchen where it worked out better.
Fascinating.
You know.
Well, there is so much in your book. What were you thinking? And if you would like to be able to find out more, if you're like me and you're often wondering, what can I do that is different? Well, if you want to be able to avoid some costly mistakes, this is a book by Howard Wiggins, who's one of the leading designers in the world that I think you will find most valuable. Why not spend the money on the book to get your information so that you know how to prepare yourself to do what you really need to do? Howard, your website is HearthstoneInteriorDesign.com.
Correct.
And the book is on the site. It's also on Amazon, and people will go to your website and find out all kinds of good information. I'm so delighted that you were my guest today, and I'm thrilled for your success. I just know that you're going to be having so many new opportunities because of all of the stir that you're getting over your book. This is great.
Thank you, Donna. And I would like to mention, if you go to Amazon.com, we're not the only book with that title. It's easier to punch it in under author, Howard Wiggins, and What Were You Thinking, and it will come up quicker.
Great. Okay, and Wiggins is spelled Wiggins. Howard, again, thank you for being my guest today. This is Donna Seebo. We are taking a break. We're going to be back in just a moment. What were you thinking? Check it out. It'll save you money, and you'll be happy because of it. Donna Seebo here. We'll be right back.